This is a Headgum Podcast.
Because the hook brings you back. I ain't telling you no lie. 'Cause the hook brings you back. Only that you can rely. Suck it in, suck it in, suck it in. I just wanted to say the suck it in part.
Well, you do need to do a harmonica solo before that part. We all know.
Wish I could.
The first part was grand.
I would just like to say, harmonica is an underrated instrument.
Yeah, it went from Bob Dylan to that guy in Blues Traveler, and now we're out.
I think we are out, but I think there was also harmonica in, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave Matthews Band.
You know, I never got into DMB too much.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's more of an East Coast thing.
No, my friends were into it.
They were.
The two big holes in my Jewish high school growing up in the Valleys.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
One, is it musical?
No. It's cultural.
Okay, is it one summer camp?
Correct. All my friends went to summer camp.
Yeah, and the other is Dave Matthews.
And the other is Dave Matthews.
Yeah. Well,
we can't all be 100%.
Perfect.
Although according
kids.
to my 23andMe, I'm 100% Jewish.
My husband is 99.9% Ashkenazi.
And that's why I bring it up, because I'm 100% Ashkenazi. So
100.
I know a lot of 99.9s. And I'm that extra.
Do you know how many of your relatives have had to have fucked for you to be 100%?
All of them is the answer. All the way back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not one slave was taken advantage of at one point that infected the bloodline. No, it was 100% all the way down.
You know, I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not gonna make the joke. So I'm just gonna go back into introducing you.
You can.
The year is 2001.
Yeah, it's 2000 and late, actually.
2000 and late.
Yeah.
And you're wondering what's because we were in 2001 last week, and we're back in 2001 this week.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna switch.
Who was last week, by the way?
Last week was Will Miles.
Okay, another 39-year-old then.
Another 39-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who grew up iconically different than you.
I'm gonna put these on.
Yeah, put those on. Wow, I know. Can you believe it?
Wow.
So I decided that we're going to switch it up, and we're going to talk about the TV that was happening in 2001, because we've talked about the music, we've talked about the movies, we've talked about the icons, we've talked about the news.
Yep.
And now we're talking about the TV. So the popular shows of 2001, Temptation Island is what comes up first, according to Google.
I remember Joe Millionaire. I never got into Temptation Island, but it still sounds like a show that you'd find on Netflix today.
It does. There was only 4 seasons. Now riddle me this.
Yeah.
Do you remember America's Test Kitchen?
If you were to ask me if that's a real show, I would say yes, but I don't remember anything about it. Was that the Gordon Ramsay show?
Guess what? It was on for, say it with me now, 22 seasons. Exactly.
Wow. Is that Gordon Ramsay, or am I thinking
Hold on.
else?
America's Test Kitchen. Tevi, while I continue talking about the shows, can you fact check if that's Gordon Ramsay? Thank you.
22 is a lot.
22 is a lot.
Yeah.
The Amazing Race.
Classic.
32 seasons of that.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Makes a lot more sense if you ask me. Celebrity Big Brother.
Yep, I actually interned for Big Brother, the television show.
Really?
Right around then, yeah. My brother worked at CBS.com as a graphic designer, and they needed an intern for that television show. So I didn't watch Celebrity Big Brother, but I did watch 1 season of Big Brother.
I love that. Did we get a fact check?
Yeah, it's Christopher Kimball.
Of course.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Okay, well, there you go. Trailer Park Boys.
Yep, that was a famous one, though I never got into it. That was like part of that MTV post-Jackass generation.
Yes, it was. And I'm going to end it with these last 3, okay? 24.
Classic. Didn't get into
Huge.
it, but everybody loved it.
You should watch it now.
People loved it.
It's excellent television.
Still.
Can you believe? Premise, 24 hours? How did it last 9 seasons?
An hour, an episode an hour for 24.
Yeah.
And then that 9 times.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Brilliant. Degrassi.
Classic. Never watched it.
Really?
I was a little too old.
I guess that's true. You were
I
a
grew up
senior.
watching Saved by the Bell.
Yeah,
and
right.
then Degrassi came out. I was 19. I'm like, I'm not going to watch
But the
this
thing
now.
is, like, Degrassi, they're like, they're like huffing and stuff. They're like doing like
Yeah.
sketchy shit. They're like getting pregnant and like.
I know a lot of like college kids that watched it ironically.
No, they loved it. It's like how I ironically watch Riverdale. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah,
I love the show.
Like it. Yeah, it's meant for 19-year-olds, but you're older than 19 and still enjoying it.
Riverdale is meant for, I think, 10-year-olds.
Got it.
No, not 10-year-olds. I think it's meant for literally like
young adults, teenagers.
Yeah, teens.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I'm gonna end on is Project Greenlight.
Yes, that was Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's AMC show
yes.
about getting a movie made.
Yes, getting a movie greenlit.
Back when movies existed.
Yeah, when you could still make a movie.
That was so funny how they used to do that.
Movies, what
That's
a weird,
so random.
weird concept.
Yeah.
And you know, who are we when Project Greenlight is greenlighting movies and making movies? Where are we?
Yeah.
We are in Encino, California.
I am in Encino, California.
And you are Amir Blumenfeld.
That's right. I'm Amir Blumenfeld from Encino, from the Valley right here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
That's where I was from age 2 to 18, grew up in the Valley. But then right after then, during that 2001 to 2005, that's when I went to college. But
where'd you go to college? This is not, just so you know, this
podcast,
we do not talk about college.
I barely want to answer.
I do want to know.
It's Berkeley in Northern California.
Fabulous. Okay, brain.
Yeah.
Okay, we're smart.
That's right.
We did. Okay, so now this
smart, but not super smart.
What do you mean? Berkeley is super smart.
Oh, you didn't get into Stanford or fucking Ivy League schools, so you go to like the best public school in California. That's the Berkeley people.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love when you're like, oh, you didn't get into Stanford.
A- student, not an A+ student. You know what I mean?
Well, we're now in high school.
Yes,
okay, now we're in the
exactly.
sweet spot of high school. So I gotta know, as I ask in the beginning of every episode, who were you in high school? What was going on with you? What were you like? What was the vibe? Because famously, one of my best friends in the world went to actually, I'm friends with many people that went to your high school.
Yeah.
And, you know, you went to a Jewish high school here in Los Angeles.
Right. So my family moved from Israel to America when I was 2. So my mom worked at the temple to like a pre-K teacher. So I was like grandfathered into that school, Stephen S. Weiss Temple.
Stephen S. Weiss, yeah.
Classic. Shout out. My brothers had to go to public school because they were 6 and 10 at the time. You can't just bring 3 boys into this.
No,
system.
You can have one.
One. So I was the lucky youngster that was grandfathered into the private Jewish school system. So I was like there from start to finish. So
you were a
lifer, very tight knit community, like grades of 80 to 100, like kids that you see all throughout your childhood, whether you're friends with them or just going to class with them. And then by the time you're like in high school, like when high school started, it goes from Stephen S. Weiss to Milken Community High School, but it's still like, 60 of the 80 kids that you went to elementary school with.
Right.
And then plus some new ones that come in from other Jewish schools.
You love the new blood that comes in.
Did you meet Amir Cohen over there, who's in an office right here at Headgum?
Yes.
He went to VBS.
Wow.
Camp friends with all my high school friends. That's how I know him.
Small little world.
So he went to Calabasas High School. I went to Milken. A lot of overlap at that point.
I think that like I was not a lifer, but I talk a lot to my friend who was also on the podcast, my friend Patrick. We talk a lot about lifer supremacy.
Yeah.
There is a feeling of the lifers.
You walk around like you own the place.
Yeah.
I'm just so comfortable here because I've been here since I was 4.
Yeah, and it's a lot of, you don't actually understand.
Yeah.
You don't actually understand the culture.
Yeah.
It's
can't baked into my DNA.
Right. I am this culture.
That's right.
You're like a founding father.
Yeah, I was wearing like Stephen S. Weiss uniforms in 6th grade, and now I'm in 9th grade, and I know everybody here for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Even though I'm 15, I have old friends.
Old friends.
We were friends when we were 4.
Yeah.
You gotta understand.
I love hearing young adults, not even young adults, I love hearing teenagers talk. I watched Hocus Pocus 2 last night.
Oh, how was it?
It was really fun.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that shit. I'm not going to be like hard on like a remake of a movie that meant a lot to me. I'm just like, cool. Like, what am I going to do? Nitpick this thing?
Right,
no,
exactly.
like grow up.
It was nice to be back in that world.
Yes, thrilled.
Yeah.
And also, you know what was nice? To see the 3 of them like happy to work together.
Yeah.
I feel like that doesn't really happen anymore.
That's cool.
Where like after 30 years, 3 huge stars are like, yeah, let's reboot the thing.
Well, Sarah Jessica Parker is always game for a reboot, I guess.
You know what?
Run it back, baby.
Call her Reboot Parker.
Nice.
There you go.
Sarah Jessica Reboot.
Sarah Jessica Reboot. But there was like a line in it when like the 15-year-old was like, we've been friends since we were 5 or 6. And I'm like, that's only like 9 years ago.
Right. But it's, 80% of your life.
It's a lifetime.
It means a lot.
It means a lot.
So yeah, I was not quite cool. Like I was going to parties, but I wasn't drinking or doing drugs.
Why not?
Because like whatever they told me when I was younger, like fucking stuck with me.
What did they tell you?
Don't do drugs.
Like what was the fear that you were gonna like die?
Die or get high or get expelled. Like I saw kids getting expelled for weed. So I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm ever
Kids got expelled for weed at your school?
On school trips.
Whoa.
We had like a week-long school trip to a Jewish summer camp at the beginning of the year called Shabbaton, which is like, Jewish immersive, this, that, and the other. And
how many kids like hooked up?
Mostly all of them except for me.
Really?
Because they all went to summer camp and hooked up, and I was too afraid to sleep away from home for 3 weeks in a row.
That is so sweet.
I guess it's sweet to hear, but I wish I was, a little more courageous as an 11-year-old.
Well, we'll get into regrets later.
Yeah, we have a few.
Yeah. So were there like, what? Because I can't, from my friends that have gone to this school, I've never quite been able to glean, like, are there cliques?
Yes.
Like, do you have like the jocks and the theater kids and whatever? You do.
So there's cliques, and in our grade, the cliques even had names. So like,
really?
Yeah, like we were the Kramers because we were friends with 2 twins named Adam and Petra Kramer. So like it was those 2 plus 8 of us. And
so you guys just became the Kramers?
Yes. And then there was like a group of Persian friends, including Danny Franklin. They were the Franklins. Cliques.
That is so funny.
And then there were cooler kids and theater kids.
You guys went by like family names.
Yeah, it was like tribal, very Jewish style.
I do think that my friends who went there had a name for their clique.
Maybe so. I don't know if it was specific to my grade or that it transcended. Because when you're in high school, you don't really think about other grades. I don't want to expose my friend's clique.
You know what I'm saying? Because that kind of feels like a secret society. You shouldn't like say the code word or something.
And maybe I shouldn't have said, but it was fun to relive.
No, the Kramers. I thought it was going to be because you guys like Seinfeld.
That'd be great. And you better believe we like Seinfeld.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's named after 2 twins. Were they identical?
No, it was a boy and a girl, so the other kind.
The other kind.
The other white twin.
So were you like into theater or sports or anything like that?
I was into sports as a fan, but I wasn't good enough to play them. Even in a small like private Jewish school, like I wasn't one of the 12 best basketball players.
Right.
So like the bar was low and I went underneath it. I was too shy to do theater. Like I never did plays and stuff. What I did do was like silly like homemade prank videos with my friends.
Because you love Jackass.
Loved Jackass.
Were they good? Were your pranks good?
They were good when I was 15.
What was your favorite one?
There's one which is on YouTube now because the kid who we made it with uploaded it to YouTube.
That's so funny.
It was like the top 10 craziest things to do in Jewish school or top 10 silliest things to do in
we're gonna link
last
that.
day of school, where it was like, when you're singing in Hebrew class, walk up and turn off the speaker and like have the song stop. So like one of my friends did that. And then it's like, when you're in whatever auditorium, press like scream nutsack really loud. And I would do that and like little things like that.
Would you get in trouble?
Not really. Sometimes a little bit.
Screaming nutsack, if I were a teacher, I'd laugh.
Well, it was like the teacher didn't quite speak English very well, and we would yell fat nutsack, but really quickly so that he couldn't hear us.
Could we get an example?
It would be like, fat nutsack, fat nutsack, fat nutsack, fat nutsack. And then he's like, what are you yelling? And we would say, fan of Zach, and like little trollish behavior like that. Until at one point, somebody took it too far and like actually yelled nutsack really loud. He's like, even as a non-native English speaker, I
know what that
said.
is.
Yeah,
that would have been,
can't do that.
That would have been my dumb ass. I would have been the one, like, a friend would be like, yell nutsack. And I would be like, nutsack!
Yeah, super clear.
Yeah, I would not be like, nutsack. Like, remember, like, coughing and insulting someone?
Or the dick game or the penis game, where you try to yell penis louder and louder than your friend.
I never played that game.
Did you guys ever play the penis game? Where it's like a movie and you're just like, penis.
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 And
It's
Penis.
like you get louder and
That's
louder.
fun.
Whoever does it the loudest wins the game. which
Okay,
is
that's a
nothing.
TikTok trend. The penis game.
That's really good. A lot of this stuff was basically TikTok before TikTok. Like we were making
Yes.
videos for nobody.
I mean, think about like the Three Stooges
TikTok before even Jackass.
before even Jackass. It's true.
Curly would have a great Snapchat
Yeah, Curly would.
had he been alive today.
Imagine, I mean, there are like TikTok channels that pop off. They're like, 3 brothers get crazy with a ladder.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay.
So this is 100 years old, this joke.
Exactly. Be more creative.
With your feedback.
So you were a good student though.
Yeah, I was good, but not great. Is this okay for camera right here? I was good, but not great. A minuses.
But that seems great to me.
If you're a B plus student, A minus seems great. And if you're a straight A student, A minuses feel bad. So I was in that sweet spot in between the two where I'm like, I'm not killing myself to get a 99 on this, whatever, English essay. But like, I wasn't going to phone it in to the point where I was getting like an 83.
What was your subject?
That I like the most?
Yeah.
I like the math, like sciencey stuffs.
And then what was-
more than the history?
Yeah, history fucking sucked ass.
Well, our history teacher was like, all right, 80 minutes. In 1812, this thing happened. In 1813, this like zero personality flavor, like just reading a timeline of U.S. events. I remember after the first like class, I'm like, is that it? Like,
Yeah.
she's just standing here and reading to us about what happened. And then like every 3 weeks, we'd compile all these notes and she would give us an exam on like, do I remember what she said 12 days ago?
Also, you know what's rude? Pop quizzes.
Yeah, like I didn't even get to study for this thing. So no, I don't remember what the XYZ affair was off the
Yeah.
top of my head.
I have an idea. Fuck off.
That's a really good idea. I might do that.
Like, pop quizzes are so evil.
Yeah, they're
It's a
basically like
trick.
I hope you study literally every night.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't study every night.
Or I hope that you're not daydreaming about your future.
Right.
I hope that you're so enamored by me boringly reading factoids
Well,
that you remember them.
Imagine going to school now where like you're on a computer, so like you have the entire like internet behind you. So it's like you're not just like writing down historical facts, but like one layer behind that is every app, every video, every movie, every TV
everything.
show, just like constantly distract. Like there's no way I could pay attention to like this boring piece of paper in front of me.
Well, I was thinking about this because I'm like writing a thing that's set in high school.
Yeah.
And in it, I'm like, oh, they have notebooks. And then I'm like, no, they don't.
Do they still
They
not?
have fucking tablets or something.
Like, do like 6th graders bring laptops to school now?
I think
They
a lot of
must teach them how to write notes, right?
I don't know.
Do you ever like remember note taking class where like they taught like write a dash and then like if this is about that thing, like the
Yes.
indent on the dash. And it's like
Do
we
you remember
took notes
cursive?
on how to 3rd grade we learned how to handwrite. Or like classes that taught you how to type faster because it wasn't inherent.
Yes.
Like we had to learn how to type.
I loved typing class.
Yeah, I was really good at my
Me
typing class.
too.
Yeah. What
I
was
was
your
like-
WPM?
I don't really remember, but in my mind I'm like 300.
1,000, yeah.
But like I know, I
Could
think
you
it was
type
like
without looking?
yeah.
You know, it's a weird thing. I could type without looking. Classic, normal. But then like if you were to close your eyes and I say, what's the bottom row of a keyboard? Would you know it?
No.
Isn't that weird? You can type without looking, and
I
yet
know-
you can't like wait C X V maybe I don't know.
I mean, I can kind of put it together. I know that R, E, and T. I'm thinking about my name. I know
Right.
R, E, and T is on the top.
Yeah, QWERTY at the top left, of course.
G and A, obviously,
Yeah,
middle left.
Yeah.
G
but
and
like,
H are next to each other,
if
right?
you could touch type like this, in theory, I could just like close my eyes and recite the keyboard, and yet I cannot. Maybe I can. I don't know. I kind of want to name a theory after me to that end.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
and I
like
think
the
that
Blumenfeld corollary is the fact that you can touch type really well, but not be able to recall
Where
even the middle row of
anything
the
is.
keyboard. Yeah, that's got to be something. That's like
That's your thing.
There's a psychological something about that.
It's the Blumenfeld. Like, how did you say it?
Blumenfeld corollary.
Corollary.
I got one more. When guesstimating something like how many gumballs are in this, how much do I weigh, what's the population of Finland or something.
Yeah.
The best guess is asking 2 strangers to guess and then taking their average.
Can we play this game now?
Sure. So
Do you know the population of Finland?
I don't, but the another Blumenfeld corollary is that the answer will be in between our two guesses.
So you're saying that it's not the average of our two guesses.
Not the exact average, but yours will be
very
one end
close.
and mine will be on the other. Like odds are we won't be too low or both be too high.
I'm going to guess the population.
Wait, you can't tell me because then it'll affect my answer.
Oh, okay.
We both have to have an answer in our mind.
Okay. And then what do we do with it?
And then we'll
On the
say it
count
on the
of
count of
three?
three and then someone will look it up. Yeah.
Okay.
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 3, 2, 1.
3
7 million. So you said 3 million?
Yeah.
I said 7 million.
Okay.
And my theory is that it's in between 3 and 7 million.
That's crazy. It's 5.5.
Almost the exact address. Come on with that shit. That's crazy. That was perfect. Let's not play it again.
Okay,
it won't work out that well again.
We're really straying off the topic of high school, but
That's the TikTok, by the way. I don't know who's in charge of that.
Well, you know that TikTok that is that guy.
The answer is yes. But what is it?
The guy that's writes with the
Google Map locator?
No, the guy who writes with an expo marker on a mirror. He's like, what's his color? Blue. It's like doing it's like doing a mentalist shit. It's
Okay.
like, what's his color? Blue.
Think of a
what
number.
Color
Is
is
it
this fruit?
Yeah.
Like blue. And then think of a number. And then
Odds are it was 52 or whatever.
yeah,
and
it pisses me off when he gets it right.
Right.
And I'm just like, I hate this. And now I'm obsessed with proving him wrong.
Yeah, it
And,
usually has nothing to do with the first few questions.
No.
No.
And me
that guy's a hack. We're the smart ones.
We're the smart. You're the smart one.
What if I said 2 million? I would not have. That's the thing. One of us would say too low, the other one would say too high.
Yeah, and I was oscillating between 3 and 4.
That's right. And I was oscillating between 5 and 7.
It's so interesting.
But if I heard you say 3, maybe I would have said 5 and I would have been wrong. That's why you got to do it. 2 independent guesses. The answer is somewhere in the middle.
Wow.
That and the keyboard thing. I don't know. There's something
The keyboard
to that.
thing is fucking weird.
That's a weird thing.
Were you into puzzles and shit like this in high school?
Not actual jigsaw puzzles, but yeah, riddles and
tricks.
Math stuff. Yeah, a lot of math stuff.
Did you think to yourself, I want to be a mathematician?
No, I think I thought I wanted to do creative advertising, I can write funny commercials and stuff like that.
So you were always into jokes.
I was always into jokes and I was always into viral things. I made a website in high school where it was an animated GIF of a pimp slap and it goes, "You've been cyber pimp slapped. Send this to 5 friends, this website." And
what
I would
was
have
the
a web
website
count.
called?
It was geocities.com/soyguy29 or whatever. And
Wait,
then
I'm sorry. What was that?
I was making up what my 15-year-old self would have called this.
What was your username of anything?
Bob Rooney, which is a Married with Children character.
Did
But
you
that's not
like
what I
Married
used.
with Children?
I did. I loved Married with Children.
Okay, we're gonna circle back to that,
Okay.
putting a pin on that
Yeah.
after we finish.
So viral website where I would put a web counter at the bottom and I would email 20 friends on AOL, be like, "Oh, send this to 5 people." It's a chain letter.
Yeah.
You'll cyber pimp slap them. My brother who did graphic design did it for me. And then I would see the web counter go off, "Oh my God, 3,000 people have seen it. Oh my God, 5,000 people have seen it."
How big did it get?
I don't fully remember, but somewhere in the tens of thousands.
That's when the internet was really fun and weird.
Mm-hmm.
When you would get like random shit like that, or E-Bombs World stuff.
Yeah, E-Bombs World and
Salad Fingers.
there was Cosmo.com, which is we'll deliver anything in the world to you in an hour. It was inefficient ideas that just became popular and then couldn't actually survive because it wasn't worth it for them to run that business.
Why did everyone think Salad Fingers was so scary?
Well, there was Salad Fingers, there was Lemon Party, there was Rotten.com, which was just a repository of all this terrible shit.
Right.
Which might have been a little more teenage boy-centric, but there was autopsy photos and shit like that.
I remember that.
Tub Girl.
Of course.
Classic.
Come on.
Yeah.
Who didn't see Tub Girl? We need to go to a break, but I have a really good idea for us. We're back.
Oh my God, that was fun.
Were you a big porn teen?
I wasn't. I didn't really masturbate. I had wet dreams that took over my innocent subconscious.
Did you not masturbate because of shame and fear, or did you not masturbate because you were just like, eh?
I think I didn't really learn about it, and I was also very prudish. Like, I never had a girlfriend in like 7th grade. It was like that was never me, and like my house was like doors open all the time. Like, dad would walk in while I was showering, not like in a nefarious way, just like, oh, I'm gonna grab something. There was no like, don't come in here, private.
Right, like, Mom!
Yeah, exactly. Like, everything was just constantly open.
Yeah.
Brothers coming in and out of rooms.
Figuratively and literally.
That's a good question. I never really talked to my brothers if they did that stuff too. Yeah.
Really?
But I was also of the internet generation. So like, it should have gotten me first. But I remember talking to my friends in 7th or 8th grade, and they were all masturbating. And I'm like, I had never done that. You
know, because there's like a lore probably at this point that boys would like sit in their basement and like
jerk off
together.
Stuff. Yeah. Jake, who I do the podcast with, is on the other end of the porn spectrum. Watched a lot of porn and is
infected with porn.
With a porn virus. It's disgusting. It's unchristian. It's un-American.
It's un-American. I went through phases with porn, but not so much in high school.
I know, and I regret. I never really got into it early on for whatever reason. And I remember my first orgasms were wet dreams because I think my body's like, all right, he's asleep. Let's try
and do this.
Yeah, before he wakes up quick. And I would think that I peed myself basically.
It was that like I was gonna say, to be a boy and to have a wet dream seems really intense.
Well, they don't really tell you this stuff at age 14. Maybe they do now, but like it's all just word of mouth from older siblings and their friends and their brothers and other.
Would you wake up embarrassed?
No, I would wake up in the morning and be like, oh, there was where I thought pee would be, but I never really put it together until much later.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Were the Kramers like, were you the one that like didn't have a girlfriend that didn't party in the Kramers?
Yeah. They weren't like party animals, but like they were a lot cooler, and like they would sometimes drink at parties, sometimes get high at camp, sometimes like, hook up with girls, have girlfriends. And I was always like the class clown. It's like, hey, I don't need a girlfriend. Oh, that's gross. Oh, God, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like joking.
Which is kind of a protection, probably psychologically.
Yeah, self-defense. Yeah. I was like too scared to deal with that whole thing, and then using like my sense of humor as like a guardian thing. I also like wasn't like, not that like any high schooler is attractive because we're all like half-formed.
Okay, speak for yourself.
Some prepubescent.
Speak for yourself.
Teenage boys at the very least. Ugly breed.
Something disturbed has happened with across the board. I think the internet, as it's matured, it's made teenagers like mature too.
Yeah.
And you see it a lot where it's like, this was me in middle school and these are middle schoolers now and they're like hot. I personally there's always been the like quote unquote hot high schoolers, hot middle schoolers, whatever.
Yeah.
But now, like, especially for girls, there's so much information on like how to do your makeup and like how to look X, Y, and Z, whatever it is that like
they go from kids to adults without any of this half-formed period in between.
Right. And I think that with boys, and I'm lumping everyone right now, which is not actually true. And I think now there's much more nuance to how people express themselves and feel about themselves as opposed to when we were in high school. But I see some like 16-year-old boys that look like they are fucking 25.
Right. They grow up so fast.
Well, they're like fucking like jacked and shit. Like, I'm like, who are you? Like, who is this
team? At the very least, shredded. Yeah. They all have abs because they're like, they haven't slowed down their metabolism yet.
Yeah. And like, but I also feel like when I was in high school, like, if I would like make out with a boy that was skinnier than me, I would feel like my inner thighs were going to snap their hips because they're just like so tiny.
Boy, yeah. I was a small, skinny, greasy, not a good guy. I mean, a good guy, but not a good looking guy.
Were you a nice guy? Or were you kind of dickish?
I was kind of a dickling troll because I was making these prank videos. Not like I was harassing ladies or anything like that.
Right.
I was just like, more interested in making my friends laugh or like making jokes and making fun of people and watching television like SNL and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was not like, wow, that girl's so hot. Let's try to hook up with her.
Yeah.
Like when I was 16.
You're not chasing tail.
I also had braces until I was 18.
Really?
Like I got them super late in life.
Full mouth?
Full mouth, but clear.
Okay.
Not ideal timing-wise, but fine in the grand scheme of things.
Let me tell you something. When I was a senior in high school, I had to get my canine tooth pulled, and I had a retainer that had a fake tooth in it, and I had to go to college with said retainer with a fake tooth in it. So
Wow.
It could be a lot worse.
So right now you just got a fake tooth, no retainer.
No, now it's real. It was my adult tooth I had to get my baby tooth removed when I was 17.
Wow.
And my tooth, my like adult canine just like never came down.
Yeah.
Do you have like a moment in your high school past where like a memory that sticks out in your head where you're like, whoa, that was so me in high school?
So me? I mean, the 10 things to do in Jewish school thing is probably the most burned in my mind just because I can like rewatch it now and see what that is. Another good example.
Or just like a memory, a story, a tale, a time.
In like 8th or 9th grade, I ran for like student body president.
How was it?
Well, it was good because I wrote like a funny speech and I like beat a guy who was like probably better handled to
take on the tasks of office.
Student body, which is like nothing. But I remember like using my sense of humor to like win this election.
And it worked.
That's
great.
Yeah, not for the other person, but yeah, for me. And then it didn't work out well for me because I'm like, I don't really want this job. I just wanted to write like funny campaign slogans or like.
What was your slogan?
It wasn't a slogan, but like we could put posters up. Remember that? Like vote for me. But like I would make silly things like vote for me or your mattress is free, like that commercial. But
right.
Like silly non sequitur. Me trying to be funny things.
There was a kid that I went to middle school with who I feel like was similar to you in school, who was so smart in a way where like dressed up when we were in 8th grade or something, dressed up as an Enron employee and came to school with a bunch of shredded paper just falling out of his jacket.
Yeah, that's funny.
And
but
I'm like,
not quite my level of dedication to making people laugh. But yeah,
I'm like, oh, you're like really smart.
Yeah, like you're just making a statement right now for no reason. It's not Halloween. And that was 2 years before Enron folded. What did he know? How did he fucking get that?
That actually is true. How did he know?
We have to find out. Follow the money.
That's our next podcast. Is
finding
the
money. Enron kid.
It's true.
How could he have possibly seen the subprime mortgage lending crisis?
It's true. Did you, because you grew up in LA, did you have like celebrity vibes in your high school?
Yeah, there was like celebrity adjacent vibes. Like one of the girls in a grade or two below me was like in Problem Child, like the movie girl. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cute, that's funny. Like she was a child actor. Another like kid who was like 2 or 3 years below me was like in commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah,
not like there were like high schools like Oakwood and Crossroads were like dedicated to like Dustin Hoffman's kid goes here, Sylvester Stallone's granddaughter goes here. Right. So we weren't quite on that level, but like a bunch of like producers, directors, and kid actors crept in.
Love a kid actor.
Yeah,
I was
they're always
so
like
jealous of them.
Short with like really good skin.
I always was like, I should be on Even Stevens. That was always what I thought.
Yeah, and I never had like that aspiration to act and do that stuff.
You just wanted to be a jokey writer.
Wanted to be a jokey writer. Like in 12th grade, we had like the internship program.
Right.
Where like instead of going to school for a day, you can like do an internship. And like I said, I want to be a comedy writer. So like they matched me with like somebody who went to the Temple who was like a Golden Girls writer. And I would like intern for her.
I mean, that's fun.
Yeah, it was fun at the time. Like I would drive to her house and she'd be like, read this script and give me whatever note ideas or punch up ideas.
I'm dying to know if any of your pitches made it in whatever show she was working on.
I remember she was working on a Disney movie, Cadet Kelly.
Wow, with Hilary Duff.
Yeah. I think she wrote Cadet Kelly. Did a lady named Gail write Cadet Kelly? I forget her last name, but it was Gail.
I loved Cadet Kelly.
Parent or something.
Hilary Duff was also a number one. Like I saw Hilary Duff and I was like, I want to be her.
Yeah. I should track down this lady if she's still alive.
Who wrote it?
Gail
There
Parent.
you go.
Yeah. Is she still alive? I hope so.
You should start saying that you co-wrote Cadet Kelly.
She's still alive. Wow.
You got to reach out.
Yeah, I'd be like, I sort of did comedy, not writing because Hollywood is broken.
You
but
should serve her with legal papers.
I wrote this.
Yeah.
You're under arrest.
You should go back and serve her.
Do you remember me?
I have one more question to ask before we go into the high school guidance counselor's office.
Mhm.
And that is, you were a fan of Days of Our Lives?
No, I was a fan of 90210, Melrose Place, nighttime soap operas. Never a daytime soap opera.
What was the soap opera that you had your screen name after?
Oh, Married with Children.
Married with Children.
Yeah.
Isn't that a daytime soap?
No, that's it sounds like it, but it was a sitcom in the 80s and 90s with Ed
Oh,
O'Neill.
yes.
Kelly Bundy, Christina
Yes,
Applegate,
yes,
Peggy Bundy.
yes. Married with Children. What's the soap that sounds a lot
All My
like
Children?
All My Children.
That's right. I did not name my screen name after a character from All My Children. I did name my screen name after a character from Married with Children. Married with Children was a funny insight into comedy because a bunch of my friends were not allowed to watch them. But my dad, who's a non-native English speaker, just he didn't give a shit about PC, not PC.
Right.
The show was not appropriate in general, but definitely not for a 7-year-old. I'm
Right.
watching Al Bundy make fun of fat women while he sells them shoes. So I'm sure that got into my subconscious.
I watched a
very
bunch
early
of
age.
shit that wasn't appropriate also.
Yeah, Simpsons. Also, a lot of kids were not allowed to watch Simpsons. My parents didn't care. In Living Color, my parents didn't care.
I feel like a lot of kids weren't allowed to watch Ren and Stimpy too.
Mm-hmm.
That was no go. Beavis and Butthead, obviously no go.
All the floodgates were open in my house, pop culture wise. We could listen and watch anything.
I think my mom was like, that show's vulgar,
Right.
but then didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? Shield your kids until they're 25 before they watch a sex scene in a movie or something?
Well, I was going to say on the flip side of that, I remember watching sex scenes. I remember watching Titanic
Yeah,
when we got the double VHS.
Oh, yeah.
I remember
97. So
watching
how old were you?
that.
12?
I was, I'm not going to say how old I was, but I was of an age.
Yeah, preteen.
I was, but if I was I was
Prepubescent.
24.
Holy shit.
But that, and I have a vivid memory of really kind of learning sort of what sex was by watching Jerry Maguire.
Yeah. Also 97. That was a real coming of age.
Yeah,
year for you.
97 was a huge year for me.
I think Dawson's Creek came out around then too.
I loved Dawson's Creek.
There we go.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Dawson's Creek. Oh my God. Knock, knock, knock. Are we in the school guidance counselor's office? Why, yes, we are. And
We must be.
We are, and I'm your school guidance counselor.
Hell yeah.
I actually think I'd be a good one. If you want me to come and guest counsel at your school, I'm just kidding. I think that's
They
illegal.
do that, I think. They just let podcasters
Yeah,
in.
they
Have
they
at
let
it.
comedians
These kids can do whatever
come
the fuck
in.
they want. Yeah.
But in this section of the show, I give you the opportunity
Mhm.
to, right a wrongdoing of the past. You can use this time to apologize to someone, say fuck you to someone, whatever that's been, on your mind since high school.
Yeah.
You can use this time to do with it what you will.
Yeah. I remember an insult somebody told me when I was in 11th or 12th grade. I think because my skin was bad. One of the silly bullies was it was me standing next to a white kid standing next to a Persian kid. And he goes, look, there's someone that's brown, someone that's white, and someone that's red. And pointed to me because I had bad skin, red skin, acne.
That's really mean.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't. There's nothing you can do when someone just
Eviscerates you like that.
I can't be no, because I do have red zits on my face, and I can't be fuck you because I don't want to show them that it pisses me off. So
Yeah.
I remember it obviously affected me if I remember it 20 years later.
That's so mean.
Yeah, but that's also fine, I think, to be mean to teenagers because now I have a hopefully better personality / skin for it because the oilier your skin is as a kid, the better it is as an adult.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you have to go on Accutane?
My brother got Accutane because his skin was slightly worse than mine. I was on the cusp where it's do you want to take this really intense medication or just try to deal with it with fucking creams and stuff like that?
And then when did it clear up? Because now you have beautiful skin.
Thank you. It cleared up maybe between the ages of 18 and 22.
Okay.
And I still get the occasional zit.
Yeah.
But those are fun.
We're only
you
human.
Get to pop a zit every once in a while. That's fun.
I fell off of my Razor scooter and I had to go to school and I had a scab right here.
Hitler scab.
And everyone called me Hitler.
That's really offensive.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
What about Shitler? Because it looks like you have a little bit of poop right there.
Honestly, Shitler would have been better than Hitler.
Yeah. Sometimes when my hair is combed to the side like that, I say I look like Adolf Hipster.
Oh.
Good Halloween costume.
A little pun.
Yeah. That was my other nickname in high school.
Little pun.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. Did you have a nickname in high school?
No, not really. Blumenfeld, Blooms.
I was going to say to people, was it a last name vibe?
Last name a little bit.
Straight boys love to call people by their last names.
Yeah, Blooms.
Why is that?
I guess it's more fun, and it's also like if there's like 12 Andrews.
Yeah, but there were not 12 Amirs.
No, there were not.
There was one.
It was one.
And that's you.
And then there was the other Amir, but we didn't go to high school together.
Yeah, fuck that other Amir.
Not interested.
He was in Calabasas.
Might as well have been
Might
Greenland.
as well have been, I was going to say, might as well have been in
Finland.
I was going to say Phoenix,
Population
but
of 5.5.
there you go. Well, fuck that guy that called you, that said that you had acne skin.
That guy was Big Rich. He did have a nickname, who wasn't really that much of a bully. He was more of a jokester, but he was so tall. I think he was like 6'7" or something.
I mean, with a nickname like Big Rich, I hope you're tall.
Super tall and kind of like, he's like a big dude. But like I was like 5'5", 7 or something short. He was like 6. He was like a foot and a half taller than me.
You're not mouthing back to Big Rich.
No, I'm still not. He's probably still bigger, stronger, and potentially more successful than me. I have to look into it. But Big Rich, if you're watching, I forgive you. And I know it's been eating you up alive. He probably doesn't remember that insult.
By the way, you'd be surprised. We get people that write into the show that are like, I want to apologize to this person that I said X,
That's
Y,
nice.
and Z to.
Wow.
Well, now I have to know, do we have a Classmates corner? Tevi is going to read it to us.
Is this someone I went to school with?
No.
Fuck.
Everyone, you know what? This is the thing where everyone's like, I guess if we can, when we're lucky enough to be able to plan everyone like really far in advance.
Yeah, you can reach out to like old students and teachers.
Yeah, but that seems like a lot of work. And also,
You need a producer.
Well,
I mean, like a dedicated just for that clip. That's just for that segment.
just for that segment, because
Yeah.
that's like a research person.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like someone that needs to go.
part-time job
And
to
then
track
also,
down 20 hours a week. That
and then
teacher.
it's risky too, you know?
Yeah, because what if they're like, yeah, he wasn't that nice.
Like,
You
I
don't
don't
wanna
want
hear
people
that.
asking people that went to my high school with me what I was like,
Yeah, unless it's positive.
unless it's my friend.
Yeah, of course.
And guess what, honey? I got a lot of enemies.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Today Rachel writes in, "Hi Greta and guest. I need to vent about a toxic friendship I had in high school. Her name was Kat, and she was a crafty little liar. In the 20 years since high school, my friends and I have compared stories that she told us, and none of them match up. Was she conceived at the Super Bowl? Did she only have one of each organ that typically comes in pairs? Did she meet all of the famous people she claimed to? No, of course not. The worst thing she ever did to me was convince me that a vintage leather jacket looked bad on me in a thrift store, only to go back later and buy it for herself. She also once slept with a boyfriend of mine in high school, either while we were dating or days after we broke up."
High school sex. Wow. Foreign.
Okay, here's what I have to say about that. First of all high school sex is bad. That's going to go on our merch. That's the tagline. That's the second tagline of the show. I say this every
It's
episode.
bad sex, like, because they don't know how to have sex yet, or like you're condoning it, they shouldn't have sex?
No, I mean, look, have sex, but just
Condemning
know
it.
that it's bad. Like, if you think you're having like mind-blowing, amazing sex in high school,
Yeah.
you're not.
Right.
You know,
That's
like
almost impossible.
it's not.
Although
it's-
sometimes a 19-year-old does win the U.S. Open.
Yeah, but does that mean that they can fuck good? I don't know.
Alcaraz could probably fuck good, but I'm saying it's a 1 in a million shot.
Yeah.
Most people aren't there yet.
Yeah, I think if you are fucking good in high school, something's not right. Something's not adding up.
Yeah, it's usually one side feels good. It's very rare that you get the dual good side in high school sex.
Yeah, it's not good. So like that does suck that she fucked your high school boyfriend, but at the same time, no, it was probably bad. That's number one. Number two, I would agree that the leather jacket is like, that is shitty.
Yeah. I mean, high schoolers can be pretty fucking intense because they don't really know the rules yet. So, like, they're like, it's kind of like when somebody's drunk, they're like doing whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
So, like a high schooler, and then I guess even adults can be habitual liars. Like, like a weird compulsive liar, they like get off to the lies or something like that.
I also think that there's a difference between like compulsively lying as an adult, I think is like a true psychological issue where it's like you need real help.
I've been lying a lot more just to sort of dip my toes back into that water, but I understand it's kind of messed up.
I mean, lying in what way?
Like, I'll use a buddy's movie pass to get into a movie, and then when the 21-year-old questions me and I'm an adult to them, I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I left my wallet at home. No, this is actually me. Like, why would I lie like that?
Okay, but like, who cares?
Exactly.
To me, I'm like, that's like inconsequential lying, right?
Yeah, it's not like nefarious secret family level shit.
Yeah, you're not like hurting the person who's running the theater. You're not hurting your friend.
I'm getting away with little things.
To me, that's just like life hacking.
Thank you. I needed to hear that. God,
that's not lying.
Me up inside.
Like, you're not being like, I'm so sorry, I can't do this thing that I committed to because my mom's sick. And then we find out your mom's perfectly healthy.
Yeah,
and
well, excuses are also a separate area of lying. Like, you can almost get away with an excuse if you don't want to do something.
Well, now everyone has the excuse if I don't feel good.
Yeah. Oh, I woke up and I have a scratch and a little tickle in my throat. I don't want to risk anything.
But you know what's interesting? If we're all just like honest about why we don't want to do stuff, I think a lot of the time people will understand.
Yeah, like I also don't want to go to this birthday party.
Yeah, like
it's just my birthday, so I have to.
So I have to go.
Yeah.
But I think when I've ever just been like, you know what, Greta, stop making excuses. And whenever I've just been like, to be honest with you, I just really don't feel like this.
Yeah, like I'm at home and it's 7:30 and I'm about to fall asleep. I'm obviously not going to a fucking bar 20 miles away.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And I think most like reasonable people can understand that.
Right.
I think though that like teens lying about dumb shit, like I met Harrison Ford and Will Smith and Britney Spears, like to me that's like, you're insecure.
Yeah, or like you were 12 5 years ago. So like you don't fucking know or care about it. Like you're a child still. So and it's also exciting to you to lie, I guess, sometimes.
Well, I think that like lying is how you get attention, and attention therefore feels like love.
Yeah.
And we've all been there, honey.
I told you about the viral websites I made. Watch the counters go up. I was making notifications on videos before social media even existed, so I fully understand the attention equals love equation.
I definitely lied for love. I mean, when I was at summer camp, I lied and I told, sorry if you're listening to this counselor that I told this lie to, but God. I lied and like told my camp counselor because I thought he was hot, okay? Even though at the time I'm like 11 and he's like 17.
And he probably knew you were lying.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I like ripped out a page of a Levi's campaign in a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it was my sister.
And I swore to God it was my sister.
I am not kidding you. In hindsight, like, it could have been Giselle. Like, in the...
Bunchen or your sister?
Bunchen. I mean, like, the model...
Got it. Like a 41-year-old supermodel.
Yeah.
And you're like 11. Like, this is my sister.
Yeah.
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 Did you have a sister?
I do. Yeah, I didn't...
Okay, that's good.
I didn't fully make up...
Lie, yeah.
No, it's... I
a sibling existed.
Yeah. And I think I was like, God, if I tell him that I have like a model sister, then he's going to think my sister is hot. And then maybe he'll think I'm hot.
That's cool. And maybe he'll kiss me and get expelled.
Yeah.
For touching an 11-year-old.
But like, I don't know. Why did I say that lie? Because I wanted someone to like love me and pay attention to me.
Sure. 11-year-olds, you don't know anything yet.
You don't know anything.
No.
There was also a study that came out that said if your child is a liar, they have a higher IQ.
Sign me up for being the smartest person on earth.
Well, you know, I'm sorry to our listener that your friend lied to you a bunch, but probably had nothing to do with you. It was probably just because she wanted love. Yeah.
And that's fine. And hopefully you're in a better place. I think if you peak in high school, you're probably not a good adult. So like it's good to be on the lower end of things in high school so that you can get better and better.
Yeah. I like a fine wine, honey.
Like, you can only be hot for 10 years. Do you want to waste it when you're 18?
You can only be hot for 10 years, says who?
Oh, that's just another third theory that I'm working with. I don't want to fully dedicate my life to it yet, like the keyboard and the guessing thing, but yeah, that's...
No, I've been hot for more than 10 years.
Really?
So, yeah.
High school hottie?
No, but... Well, okay. Now we are playing the game that I've been in high school.
Let's
10
play
years
high school
ago.
hottie.
I mean, I definitely had like swagger in high school.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I was like kind of mysterious. I kind of didn't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, you're one of like a concert going. Like,
yes.
Whoa, she went to a concert and she's only 16.
Yeah, that's me in high school.
Whoa.
Like
Okay,
emo
that's pretty
sceney, but also like not at the same time.
Did you have
also,
like a random 20-year-old friend, or it's like, whoa?
I hung out with a lot of older
20-year-old?
people.
Yeah.
But
Record store shit.
I also was not a virgin in high school. So
That's
I
also
think
cool.
that was also a thing where I was like, having bad sex.
Are you okay with that, or do you regret that aspect of it? Would you recommend it to a niece or child or future generation?
I definitely lost my virginity. I hate saying lost my virginity. That's so fucking like archaic. I definitely had sex for the first time way too young.
Yeah. I feel that way with driving.
What do you mean?
They shouldn't have let a 16-year-old me get behind the wheel of a car.
I absolutely agree with that. I think you need to be at least 38 to drive.
Oh, thank you.
If you
As a 39-year-old, I agree.
If you can be president at 36, you shouldn't drive for those first 2 years.
Exactly.
You should need to get your learner's permit.
And then drive to the White House.
Yeah, exactly.
Should you make it?
Yeah.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I definitely wish that I didn't have sex so young. I had sex for the first time summer going into my freshman year of high school.
It's
too young.
That's amore.
Yeah, that really was amore. I was 14.
Young. That's.
I like really loved this guy, and then
if you really loved him, sorry.
No. We weren't in love. Let me be clear with the phrasing. I really loved him.
Yeah, and I was just joking. I assumed that love was fake and a 14-year-old version of love, so I don't actually think you should have slept with him as a teenager.
No, I shouldn't have.
The first teen.
The first teen.
Well, 13, I guess.
Second teen.
Second teen.
And then, I had sex after that when I was 15.
Did your parents know?
I think my mom had an idea because she did put me on birth control.
Wow.
I think my mom had an idea, but I also think my mom was kind of avoidant and was just I also had really big boobs at the time. So they put me on birth control to see if that would help. Balance out my hormones.
Ladies had to deal with a whole slew
so
of,
much.
Yeah.
So I think that my mom was kind of just okay, well, now that she's on birth control and that's it. She's just
our work there is done.
Yeah, she's going to stand it. We didn't have sex talks.
But do you ever see a 14-year-old now and you're like, holy smokes, that's so young.
Yeah, I mean, it disturbs me.
Yeah.
When I see my little cousins,
Yeah.
I'm
14.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no.
No, awful. Hell.
Yeah.
Hell. I already know that if me and Abe have a kid, I will end up being you will never have sex under my roof, and that'll be me.
You're not you can have drugs and alcohol as long as it's under my roof.
I never understood the parents that was it's okay if your girlfriend sleeps over.
Yeah.
What? As a parent, you're signing off on your kid fucking.
Yeah.
No. If you want to fuck in my house, you need to do it the old-fashioned way. Sneak around.
That's right.
Sneak around.
And if I catch you, tearing that D off.
Yeah, ripping the dick off.
Tub girl style. Yeah. Now you know what that feels like.
If you could go back in time and give your high school self any advice, what would it be?
I guess I would tell myself to go to Jewish summer camp.
Oh, okay. Because a lot of firsts happened for your friends there.
That's right.
Kissing and sex.
Well, of course, all the good firsts.
and
none of
drugs
the bad ones.
and pot, right?
Yes.
Well,
I was afraid to get in trouble.
Interesting that you were afraid to get in trouble because you were such a prankster.
Right.
It doesn't really make sense.
No, yeah.
I guess if you think it's just a prank.
Right. I yelled nutsack. I didn't smoke pot.
Right.
Yeah. But did you ever have a phase in high school where people would breathe really heavily and stick their palm against your windpipe and you would faint, and like that was like how kids like
They had fun.
Yeah.
I knew of people
that was like
did
drugs
this.
before drugs. That's what
People
sixth
that would like.
graders did.
I remember people bending over, being like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And then,
yeah,
like-
yes. They would pass out. I'd be like, fuck no, I'm not passing out for fun. That was basically weed.
Did you ever have a thing where like kids would like smoke nutmeg?
Right, or like even I would never even like suck in helium.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Really?
Yeah, or like the whippets. I'm just afraid to do all that stuff. I still am kind of.
It's funny. I did more, like I sooner did Molly than I did a whippet. Like I only
Same,
did whippet.
because like I'm okay taking a pill, but I don't want to like snort anything or inhale anything. But like
for some
if you were to
reason,
tell me like cocaine was a pill, I'd be like, okay, I'll try that pill.
right.
Which is kind of speed or Adderall or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I it's the idea of snorting, the idea of smoking, the idea of inhaling that creeps me out even still to this day.
So did you ever smoke pot?
Yes, I ended up smoking and like trying it out in college and a little bit after, but like not any regular.
Yeah, not really. You weren't a pothead.
Never.
Yeah. Well,
So it goes.
so it goes.
It's not for everybody.
It's not. It's not for me anymore.
And that's fine too.
Certainly that.
That's right.
Did you go to prom?
Yes, I did. But not with a date.
Why not?
Because again, I was too scared to ask people out, girls out, go on dates, and I was just
What a fearful
prudy,
child.
Yeah, prudy little scaredy. So I'd be like, yeah, let's go as friends. And then like it would come down to like me and two female friends, and we would go as like a group of three. And
Would you three-way grind?
No, there was no grinding of any sort.
You
There was
wouldn't
no
grind
I
at
didn't
all?
kiss anybody until the summer before college.
Was it a sweetie you went to high school with?
Yeah, a high school sweetie that I was too afraid to kiss in high school.
And how did you work up the...
We would like get closer and closer, and it got to the point where like we have to kiss. Like this is insane.
Did you make the first move?
I'd like to think that I did, but I don't remember.
Do you know where it was?
Yeah, in a car.
Your car?
I don't remember.
Was Hook by Blues Traveler playing?
God, I wish that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
The harmonica solo.
Yeah, you're like, suck it in, suck it in, suck it in, or
Yeah.
whatever.
And I'm 19.
Yeah.
The worst teen. You were the second teen. I was the last,
Last teen.
Yeah. No, I was 18. The
Did-
second to last teen.
Do you remember it, like how it felt?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great.
Do you think you were good?
No.
Like, was it tongue?
Yes, it was tongue. And it was, it was like pure teenage horniness. Yeah. Sloppy Town, USA.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
First
But I should have done
kisses.
that when I was like 13, 14, 15.
Shout out to my first kiss at summer camp, Jewish summer camp.
How old
He
were you?
really-
4?
Yeah.
All bets are off.
I was in my pull-ups. He was in his pull-ups, and yeah, I vividly remember our first kiss. It was in the lower bunk
God,
in
that's
my
cool.
bunk in like my cabin,
Yeah.
and it was like my friend's lower bunk, and he like snuck in and he made out with me, but there was so much tongue.
Yeah.
It was just like,
Well, you don't know it. You just like watch
Open.
some movies and guess, hope for the best.
yeah, and it was just like mouths open.
Teeth hitting.
But the person that really taught me how to kiss, and we're gonna have to bleep all of these names, was
Oh my God.
he really
Yeah,
taught me
same.
how to kiss, and
Same.
I remember where
Yeah.
he taught me how to kiss.
Yeah, your mouth, right?
Yeah, my mouth.
Yeah, for sure.
On an ottoman in my living room.
That's cool.
We like
Small chair.
he like literally like patiently taught me how to kiss.
Fantastic. No notes.
Hats off to that guy.
Shout out to
Yeah.
He's a real one.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
What did you wear to prom?
Tuxedo that I rented with a purple tie.
That's nice.
Yeah,
To match your 2 dates.
exactly. No, I don't think they wore purple. I was just like, instead of wearing black, I'll wear purple.
Did people get drunk to go to your prom?
Some did, and I did not.
I figured as much.
Yeah. After party, some people got drunk, and I did not.
Were
So
you the
it goes.
DD?
No, we had a limo,
No, but I'm saying generally in high school.
I don't think I ever was a D. We all just like drove ourselves, or yeah, I didn't really hang out with too many drunk people either.
You and the Kramers.
Fucking Kramers, man. Bunch of squares.
Now, my last question of the pod is, did you have a senior superlative?
I don't think we did. We did senior quotes.
What was your quote?
My quote was a Norm MacDonald joke.
Really?
Yeah, R.I.P. recently. It was like about how I'm going to butcher the jokes.
Delivery.
Yeah, but the paraphrasing is a 6-year-old girl took over her father's car when he passed out at the wheel and like barely survived by swerving into like a house, but they ended up like not dying, which once again proves my point. Women can't drive. Which is offensive but funny, but like it's kind of crazy that they let me put that in the yearbook.
It's insane.
The joke or the fact that they let me
The fact that they let you put it in the yearbook.
Yeah, I think I tweeted it when Norm MacDonald died. Like I was such a big fan that they even let me use his joke as a
senior quote.
I think it was 2001, so like sexism was fine back then.
Rampant. Not only was it fine, everyone was like, more!
Encouraged, yeah. Female principal loved it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a whole bit in American Pie where the foreign exchange student just came to school naked.
Yeah, that was fine.
Yeah, everyone was like, yeah, this makes sense.
Not offensive at all.
Yeah, this makes sense. Let's just like, be absolutely horrid to all the women in this movie and then just have Shannon Elizabeth topless the whole time.
Right.
That was 2001.
The hottest movie I had ever seen.
Yeah.
American Pie was 98 or something because I remember seeing it as a 15-year-old. Yeah.
Was it? What did American Pie 2 come out in like 2001?
Yeah, that was when these two girls are gonna make out in front of us.
Yeah,
but
and
we have to kiss first. Oh, it's so gross when guys do it, but we have to do it to see two babes.
Also, what's a plot point of American Pie, the first one, that like no one is talking about? How they live streamed.
Oh wow, yeah, they were gonna fuck. And
yeah,
it was almost
fucking.
like
and then
it was exploitation of a foreigner who didn't sign up to be.
And then she got in trouble for it.
That is crazy.
It's like
I'm gonna fuck this exchange student on camera.
Yeah, and
like guys were like just like hornily about
to
watch it.
She got expelled from the school
because she was topless on the stream, and Jason Biggs was fine.
Yeah,
insane. I guess that movie, you never see it anymore on TV, maybe because it didn't age well.
I want to pitch, Hollywood, are you listening? I want to write American Funeral.
That's really good. Stifler's mom is the star.
No, we can't kill Jennifer Coolidge.
Right, I know, that's why she should be the star now. And it's about, I don't know, Chris Klein dying? It's fine.
It's fine. I feel like the other one could die.
Oh, the Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
Henry Rowan Gardner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, something to noodle on.
So that's the sort of log line. You guys figure it out from here. Oh, and it's a horror movie or whatever.
Yeah.
So that way you'll make it.
Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. My 50th episode, no less.
That's very exciting. The big 5-0.
Thank you for letting me do my podcast here at Headgum.
Hell yeah. It looks great. It sounds great. You're very funny. And I'm happy to finally be able to guest on it.
Yeah, me too.
Talk about my theories, my corollaries, my high school self. And
do you feel that you are very different than your high school self now?
In some ways, yeah. I'm like a little bit more comfortable in my body. Whereas like in high school, I'm just like, squirming, full of hormones.
You're jacking
trying to be
off
funny.
now.
Yeah, jacking off now. I'm at least comfortable enough to admit that I'm not.
Do you like to drink now?
I had a phase where I was drinking a lot, like when I first moved back to LA in my early 30s. Now, since the pandemic, I don't really drink anymore either.
There you go.
I'm always like, I drink as a social lubricant to meet people and talk to people easier. And now that I'm home most of the time, I don't find the need to drink.
Yeah. You're not like throwing a cocktail back after a rough day.
Right. To just talk to my girlfriend
who
I live at home with my dog. I don't need to drink whiskey for that.
Well, you should talk to my husband, okay?
Thank
he
you.
needs at least 3 to talk to me. Oh, wow. What another perfect episode of my absolutely perfect, world-renowned, stunning, most popular podcast in the world, Senior Superlatives. Amir, what are your podcasts on this network, and where can all of my listeners listen to your shows?
Yeah, I have one called If I Were You, which is an advice show. If you listen to me on this podcast, certainly you're thinking, I would listen to this guy dispense some wisdom and advice, and you can do so at If I Were You. And I also have a basketball podcast called Buckets. That one is strictly for basketball fans. So if you don't like basketball, don't waste your time on Buckets.
Or if you are into someone who loves basketball, listen to Buckets, and then you can flex your knowledge around that person that you're into.
That's very good. And I'm also sometimes on the Headgum Podcast, which is a podcast that we do with our employees, and it's kind of a funny, silly time. So listen to that one as well.
there you go. And if you want advice from the high school guidance counselor, please email us at seniorsuperlativespod@gmail.com with the subject line Classmates Corner.
Please.
You can get your email read out loud by the #1 star producer in Hollywood, California, Tevi.
And she's going to start reaching out to old classmates of guests, which is...
And don't be surprised.
We didn't let her know, but that's an extra 30
Yeah.
hours of work per week, which is kind of fun. It's
kind of
exciting,
fun, kind of nice. And 5-star me, positive review me. We don't like negativity here on the show because guess what? I do this for free. Anyway, thank you so much. And as I say every week, stay cool, never change. Until next time, ciao.
That was a Headgum Podcast.